Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah.
It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome into autumn. Yes, it's the 22nd of September. So I like fall so much. I celebrate the beginning of fall twice. On the first, which is meteorological fall, which I learned from my buddy Ron Childers. And then there's the official today. And didn't you feel the nip in the air when you got up? Like a high of 82? Yesterday, I played Galloway yesterday. I played 9 holes, which is about all I could play because it was 101 degrees. It was crazy hot outside. But we got fall, and I think that's the last stretch of, like, crazy hot weather for the year. Do you prognosticate that?
Well, I hope so. I'm no meteorologist, I think is the word I'm looking for. But I hope so. I've got my sweatshirts already out of storage from the winter, so I'm hoping so. But hopefully next week we don't get anything 90 degrees or anything like that.
As long as we're into prognostication here, and we will do our Pick 6 at 10:06 on Friday, our new thing. Which, by the way, I'm ahead of you early here.
You are. You got me pretty. We went back and forth on a lot last week. We split a couple of them, but I think you had more than me. I did not do very well in college, so you got me beat there.
Yeah. And we'll do 4 college and 2 pro like we did this past week. But here's the best question for you, the best prognostication. And we're not doing this year long, but we will do it for Tennessee and Florida. And that question is, who will be the guest picker at game day?
Steve Spurrier.
Oh, that'd be great.
I think it's already been decided, but they can change it.
You think it's Steve Spurrier, really?
It's Coach Spurrier.
Oh, see, I thought it was going to be Peyton Manning.
That
really
would be
did.
Great. Well, Spurrier has the connection to both because he's from East Tennessee, right? And he also is a Florida Heisman Trophy winner, and a former coach. So you get the connection to both schools a little bit. I wonder who he's going to pick, though.
Well, yeah. Spurrier's great. He'll be outstanding. I mean, he's funny as can be. Yeah, he came here. He was honored by the AutoZone Liberty Bowl this past summer. And I actually, my wife and I got the chance to sit at the table with him and his wife. And, he's just a delightful, witty guy. Great stories and plenty of them. And he's from, as you said, he's from the state. Science Hill. And they were running a different kind of offense that he likes to run, and that's why he went to Florida over the University of Tennessee. But he would be great. I thought Peyton was for sure the guy. Maybe that'll be another year. But either Peyton or Spurrier were not their first choice. Reese Davis sort of let it slip on the Paul Feinbaum show yesterday. You know who their real number one choice was that was unavailable to do it?
I can't even imagine who it would be.
Who could possibly be the most famous name in the state of Tennessee in the musical business?
The only name that's coming to mind is Kenny Chesney because he has but that's not the most famous name in Tennessee. I can't even imagine.
I'll give you another hint. It's not a man.
Shania. Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton. And Dolly,
that would have been great.
Dolly was unavailable. She would have killed it.
She would have.
Could you imagine her and Corso going back and forth?
That'd been awesome.
That would have been great. When he would have gone, great pick, and now he kind of like pat you on the back, he would have probably snuggled.
Not so fast, my friend.
Yeah. All right, well, I didn't know it was Spurrier, so that's it, huh?
I think so.
The cat's out of the bag already.
I believe so.
All right. You know what is another sign of autumn? We finally get the Tiger basketball schedule. My gosh, we finally get the basketball schedule. We'll go over that in a second. I'll let you know. We're sitting in the Family Leisure Studios. You get 30% off on in-stock spas during what they say, and these guys know, is the biggest spa sale in the world. 30% off, huge discounts on the swim spas, and special financing available. All you got to do is get to I-40 and Wooden Road, see my buddies at Family Leisure, where family and fun come together, and now the home of the biggest spa sale in the world. You know our title sponsor, it's Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch. They also have Genesis cars there, too. Right now, while other dealerships, laws of supply and demand, go way over sticker price, you can get $500 off sticker price and 3.59% financing on Hyundais and Tucsons. Wow, you got to get to 78 and Craft Road, the first exit in Mississippi, because there's opportunities there for you right now. The new cars are coming in, and they are with terrific prices at Homer Skelton Hyundai. All right, so took a while, but that conference schedule finally came out. We know how tough and interesting that non-conference schedule is. So finally we get that Memphis is going to play every team twice except for East Carolina and Tulsa. They will not have to go to Greenville. So we'll see the Pirates here. That should be a double-digit favorite. And then you'll go to Tulsa. So that'll be sort of homecoming for Frank Haith. That'll be interesting to see how he's welcomed. I think he'll really be welcomed, honestly. So Frank Haith and the Tigers will go to Tulsa. They will not return. The first game of the year will be against USF, and Tyler Harris comes home. The last part of the schedule is brutal. It almost makes you wonder, is it Memphis leaving the American? Are they part of this deal that goes to the Big 12? I mean, it's crazy. So I'm looking at the last 5. Actually, the last 7 are tough because you're playing Temple at home, and I think you go to UCF. I'm not even counting those. But those are your last 2 before the brutal stretch. And a lot of people think Temple is the dark horse team this year, that they could, and they finished 4th last year. So they're a pretty good team. So you got Temple, UCF, and then to Houston, to Wichita State. Then Cincinnati will come here. And, oh, by the way, so will Landers Nolly. So that will be the first time Memphians will see Landers Nolly in the place. Tigers play him earlier in Cincinnati. Then you go to SMU, and you finish again with Houston. What a stretch. Those 5 last games, really 7. You're going to find out just how good you really are. And the part that I like most about this, now the conference is doing it because they feel back-ending it will give the league more exposure. And the Houston game, by the way, is going to be a CBS game again. Last year it was Nance, or the last couple of years it has been Nance on that call with Bill Raftery. So, and that's the Final Four crew. Of course, you don't have the third partner in Grant Hill, but you're still getting the 2 main guys. It's great exposure. But here for me, this is what I like about it. I like the fact that I think it prepares you for the tournament.
I agree, 100%. I think it prepares you not only for the conference tournament, but if you're an NCAA tournament team, you're playing the best teams, which means you'll have to be playing your best basketball at that point in time. Plus the non-conference schedule we talked about, playing their best basketball, it sets up really well. You're playing your best basketball when you get to conference play. You finish backloaded playing your best basketball when you get to the tournament time, whether you're an NCAA tournament team or not. So I agree with you. I think it sets up perfectly for a good season and to build every single game towards down the stretch of the season.
So here is the one thing that in the Penny era is going to have to change, okay? Penny's teams always get better, I think much better, as the season goes on. Sometimes injuries has played a role in this. Sometimes, guys not playing in the beginning have played a role in all of this. But you're starting at Vandy and at St. Louis on November the 7th and November the 15th after a couple of exhibition games that you'll win by 20 points, or you should, right? Christian Brothers and Lane. So you got to go to Vandy and then to St. Louis. You can't be, slow in your approach to build because right off the bat you got games. And if you're going to be an RPI team that has a chance to get a good seeding, you're going to have to win one or both of those games, right? Then you come home and you play VCU. Then you got Seton Hall in Orlando, followed by either Oklahoma or Nebraska. You can't slow start. You've certainly got to win one of the two at Vandy and St. Louis, and then you certainly have to win at home and then get to the final game, I would suspect, in Orlando, and I think that they would be slated that way. And then you're going to have North Alabama, then you got Ole Miss at home, Little Rock at home. Little Rock is sort of down these days. And then Auburn and Alabama, Auburn in Atlanta at Alabama. Woo! I mean, you can't slow start this year. You've got to be ready to go right from the start.
The one thing that is your saving grace, though, is those first two road games you talked about are on the road, so that helps your RPI even in a loss, you would imagine so. But also, if you do have a slow start, which you're hoping you're not going to have, you've got tons more opportunities to make up for it if you start to build. Let's say when you go to your Thanksgiving tournament, then you still have Ole Miss, Auburn, Alabama, A&M after that. So in that regard, it does help quite a bit, I think.
I agree with you. You have plenty of chances to make up for early slippage.
That's right.
But
you don't want to have if you could win at Vanderbilt and St. Louis, you're off to a really hot start.
Then you're off to flying.
That's right.
And now you're getting a lot of votes in the top 25, and you're building your resume early. Where last year it was a question of getting in, not of seeding. Really and truly, you want to build it so your question mark is going to be, what seed am I going to get? And you're hoping, of course, not to be in that 8-9. Heck, you're hoping you can be a 4, 3, 5, no higher than 6 by the end of the year. Then you've got, I think, a fighting chance. But that stretch at the end, this is always tough. I don't know why, but Memphis is being chosen with Penny now to be a New Year's Day game every year. It's 2 or 3 times in a row. Last year, I think it was last year, maybe the year before, Memphis was in Wichita State for New Year's Eve. And then they won the game against Wichita State at home. But, that's not the most romantic place in the world to be for New Year's Eve, Wichita. This time, however, it's in New Orleans.
NOLA.
In the quarter. That's fun.
Certainly so. And I don't want to speak on how good Tulane is. I really don't know, but probably a little bit easier place to play at Tulane than at Wichita State, I would imagine as well.
Well, and here's the other good thing, because I am certain, what day of the week is January 1st? Can you look that up very quickly?
It looks like it's a Sunday.
It's a Sunday. So Saturday night is New Year's Eve.
Got to keep the guys in the hotel on Saturday night.
But here's the good part about it. The game's not till 4. Thank goodness for that. That's really kind of fun. And so that game is a Sunday game, a Saturday night New Year's Eve in the quarter for all the Tiger fans. And I promise you there will be a bunch of folks that will go, especially if the Tigers are off and running. And then their next game is not till January 7th at home. So a little leeway in between there for sure.
Maybe treat January 1st after the win, you come home, that's New Year's Eve night. Go party on New Year's Day night, and then you have a long stretch till you play that next game.
Here, this to me is interesting. Everybody's talking about how Temple is the dark horse team because of the way they finished last year.
And they looked good last year,
They
too.
did. I think Tulane is a dark horse team. First of all, I think their coach is good.
They're the team that had that big freshman last year. I can't remember the fellow's name, but they had a freshman that was a big guy that came in off the bench. Now that you say that, I remember they got a good team as well.
They have a lot of young kids that were starting to come together, and they gave Memphis fits. If I recall, didn't Memphis lose in New Orleans to them?
I think that's right.
Yeah. That's a team that will not be an easy out. I think they'll be pretty good. I don't know. Cincinnati has to be better than they were a year ago. I think that Wes Miller's a pretty good coach. And so I think that they will be improved, and they got Landers Nolly. I think the league will be a little bit better this year. Tulsa's got a new coach. I don't know how that one's going to play out. Should be interesting, especially since their old coach is now Memphis's lead assistant.
Wow, so Ron Hunter's the head coach at Tulane. Their assistant coach, associate head coach, is Ray McCollum, who used to be the head coach at Detroit, whose son played at Detroit, who was a really good player.
Ray McCollum's been around long enough that I can remember him as a player, and I can remember he was the head coach of Ball State, which was his alma mater.
Really?
So Ray McCollum's been around for a long time. Yeah, that's a good coaching staff.
Absolutely.
And I'm telling you, they were really good last year. You know, when the first time Ron Hunter took over the program, I don't think McCollum was there yet. And remember, they got one of the Lawson. KJ Lawson had transferred from Kansas. He came there to finish out his career. And, you know, they were tricky. They just didn't have enough talent. And now, slowly but surely, I think he's getting talent. If you win there, you're a magician. Because if you look at their facilities and their standards to get into that school, which they don't lower, Tulsa's a little the same way, although Tulsa has better facilities and a better crowd base. But, I mean, you look at where they play in practice and you compare it with everybody else around the league, you go, why would a kid go here?
I found the kid I was talking about, number 33. He's a forward, 6'6", Tylen Pope. He's a redshirt sophomore this year.
Okay.
He was so impressive. I loved his game. You're right. They got some good players and a good coaching staff.
To me, they're the dark horse. Temple's going to be better. I don't know about Wichita State because that program has not really kept its momentum. You know, that when they fired Marshall, or he fired himself kind of, they brought that guy in who was interim and they made him the coach, whose name escapes me at this very moment. But they gave him, in the middle of that interim year, a big contract. And, you know, I don't know that he'd really proven himself, and I don't know if that's going to prove to be a big mistake on Wichita State's end.
Isaac Brown.
Nice guy, excellent assistant coach, and did a great job at the beginning, but can that carry over? We'll see. They have not been the same since the middle of that first year.
Billy Kennedy's an assistant coach in that program, too. How about that? Former Texas A&M coach.
Right. That's an addition, I think, this year.
I believe you're right. Yeah. He wasn't there last year.
So I don't know how they will be, but I suspect Cincinnati will be better. Temple's already everybody's dark horse, and I think Tulane should be the dark horse. It's going to be a fun year in the American, and again, we finally got that schedule out yesterday. Albert Pujols broke up a no-hitter yesterday in the 7th, but San Diego won the game 1-0. Do you know the Padres' rotation? A bunch of pitchers have now completed a streak of scoreless innings that has reached 27 2/3 innings. So basically 3 games in a row they haven't given up a run. And last night, Blake Snell struck out 13 in the 7 innings he faced. He had gotten Albert twice. So you know what they do? This is my complaint about today's players and the way the rules are now being bent because the players can't play. Last night they put on the shift. Can't do that next year. They put on the shift. So what does the guy who's the Hall of Famer do? The home run hitter? They shift to the left because he's a home run hitter down the left field line, right?
He changes his approach at the plate.
Bingo! What does he do? He's got the whole right side. Oh, he went the other way for a base hit to end the no-hitter. That's what baseball players who are good do. They adjust. You don't have to change the rules. If somebody's innovative and that's what they do defensively, you're getting something, change your approach.
Revolutionary concept.
Incredible. So that's what Hall of Famers do. They figure out a way. So the home run hitter just goes for contact, goes the other way, gets a base hit.
Who would have thought? Hit the other way.
Love it. 2
of those games that scoreless, by the way, against the Cardinals. Cardinals haven't scored a run in 2 games now. 5-0, 1-0.
A friend of mine who's a really big Cardinal fan said to me he thinks the Cardinals peaked too early.
I agree. It's just a shame. Oh, wait, it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks too early. You couldn't wait 3 weeks. And also, I was talking with Brian Dacus yesterday. What is the pitching rotation going to be when they get to this wild card series? You got to have 3 pitchers. That conversation is just disgusting. I don't know who they're going to put out there. Nobody any good. So it's a scary thought.
You know, I don't think you can say you peaked too early because you still have how many games they got left? They still got 15, 17 games left, right?
I think they played through the end of September at least.
Yeah. There's still time to gain momentum. There really and truly is. And then last note for today, we've got a busy show. Russell Copeland on the National Football League that comes your way in just a little bit. And by the way, the numbers were crazy for Amazon's initial Thursday night broadcast, better than the league thought.
They surpassed even the highest projection that the league had in their first week of doing it, week 2 of the NFL season. So we'll see if that carries over this week. Certainly a big rivalry.
Do you think it matters who the announcers are? I mean, is there any part in that Amazon popularity that it's Al Michaels?
Maybe so. I don't know.
Because on the other side, Kirk Herbstreit's getting killed by all the critics.
Yeah, he should just relax.
I don't understand.
He's got so much money coming in from ESPN. You don't need this second job, Kirk. Go relax, man.
Well, I give him a chance. I think he's going to be plenty good at it. I really do.
It's a lot of film to watch, though, between college and the NFL.
There's a guy. His name is David Halberstam. He's written books. He's like a media critic. And he does this weekly newsletter that I read. It's just about announcers. He hates Kirk Herbstreit. Rips him at any moment, says he talks way too much and says nothing. I mean, rips the guy.
Even in college.
As a college guy, he rips him. He was really upset. And he loves Al Michaels. He was really upset that, one, that Kirk Herbstreit got the gig, and 2, that he was teamed with his hero. So, they're really down on Herbstreit. But I wonder if any of that is Al, because and I think Mike Tirico's terrific, so don't get me wrong, but he's not Al. Al's style is really, really good, and I really enjoyed listening to him on that game. And the game tonight, Pittsburgh at Cleveland, we're going to talk with our friend Russell Copeland about that in just a second. A reminder, and you could feel it this morning, fall is in the air. Fall is officially here. It's September the 22nd. So take advantage, if you want to, of the Conway Services Heating and Cooling Early Bird Special. You get the tune-up, which includes the carbon monoxide check, for your heating system. You start getting it now if you call 384-3511 with $20 off. So that super tune-up that I brag about all the time that keeps you efficient, which means your MLGW bill goes down. It makes your system last longer because it's efficient and it stays in harmony. You can get it for $49, $20 off that usual $69 price. I'm telling you, you can't beat it. If I were you, I'd make that call, 384-3511. Protect your system. Call Conway Services today. And this portion of our show is brought to you by a company that I just am so thrilled they are a part of our show. It is called AmeriCare. That's the company that takes care of our senior citizens with 3 places in Memphis that are assisted living and memory care if your loved one needs it. They are in Memphis at South Breeze, which is on Hacks Cross, in Collierville at Schilling Gardens, and Olive Branch, it's called Olive Grove Terrace. These are homes that are really like homes. We all think of aging and we think, okay, how can we be better at it? It starts with diet. It starts with exercise. You've got to start thinking more like AmeriCare does about wellness. And you want an intimate community. Hello, that's South Breeze, Schilling Gardens, and Olive Grove Terrace. You want folks to feel right at home, to make friends, to have fun activities, to share good company at mealtimes. That's what happens with these AmeriCare homes. They are part of really something extra, the ingredients of wellness. And they work hard to keep you healthy and strong and make sure that the ones that are in their homes are doing what they love to do. They have special programs designed even to help to reduce the risk of falling. So when you think about wellness and aging, I want you to think these 3 places in the Memphis area from AmeriCare. It's Memphis and South Breeze. It's Collierville, Schilling Gardens, and Olive Grove Terrace in Olive Branch. Go see them, and you will rest at ease. We take a quick timeout. The National Football League is front and center with our own Russell Copeland in just a minute.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the Little Red Tractor from Case IH, the Farmall, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Mid-South Ag can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horsepower ranging from 30 to 105, plus an army of attachments, they can tackle every chore on your to-do list, from hauling and mowing to loading and towing and then some. Stop by Mid-South Ag Equipment or call 662-890-3141 to find a Case IH Farmall that's right for you. Acura of Memphis invites you to experience the all-new, completely redesigned 2022 Acura MDX. It's the most advanced SUV Acura has ever built. Experience the convenience of full connectivity, including built-in Alexa, Wi-Fi hotspot, and wireless charging, from the stunning interior complete with third-row seating. Stop by our state-of-the-art facility and take advantage of our aggressive APR offers today at Ridgeway and 385. Or shop online from the convenience of home now. Visit AcuraofMemphis.com.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. It's been a particularly rainy season, and that stain on your ceiling isn't getting any smaller, exposing your family to the possibility of mold. Let me come take a look. 867-0303. Our technicians are Owens Corning Platinum Preferred, so don't let someone tell you that it has to be replaced if all you need is a repair to get several more years of life. 867-0303. Have me on your speed dial for when life's little catastrophes come up. 867-0303. Upgrade your roof to a beautiful Owens Corning Duration Architectural Shingle with a 50-year warranty and an unheard of 25-year labor guarantee. I'll measure your roof from outer space and give you a competitive estimate right over the phone. Buy now and pay nothing till 2022 with approved credit. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
With fall being here, I just got a text from our friend Mickey Barker, who I think we're going to try to have on about 10:15 on Monday, talk a little President's Cup. But he says there are some really cool events coming up with Memphis Golf in October. So we're going to share all of that with you on Monday. In the meantime, I'm just giving you a warning. If you love the beautiful golf course at Audubon, which is, by the way, in really good shape, if you love that golf course, go play it between now and the end of October, because then it's going to be closed for about 18 months for a total redo. So while you're there, and it's fun, I had a friend that we played that, and he was taking videos of all the holes so he could remember, because he loves that golf course, so he could remember it. It's going to be totally different, just like Pine Hill will be when it reopens. And I got to tell you, the newest and the best at Overton, where kids, by the way, all the golf courses except Galloway, if you're 14 or under, and you walk, you play for free. Keep remembering that if you're a dad or a mom. Kid plays for free at Memphis Public Golf, except Galloway. They walk. At Overton Park. The greens now, which, you know, they had to be very careful with as they were growing in, they're perfect now. So go check out the new Overton Park. Memphis Golf. It just keeps getting better all the time. A guy who always stays really good. That's my friend, former Tiger, former NFL superstar, Russell Copeland. How are you?
I'm doing well, Dave. How are you?
All right, I'm doing terrific because I'm sitting here. I get to chat with you, and man, there were so many great finishes, like 4 or 5 out of nowhere, like the Jets come back and the Dolphins come back last week. Which one really struck your fancy?
I really think all of them. But when you look at how the Dolphins were able to come back, you look at the weapons that they have, just what a tremendous comeback. They stayed into the football game, but they were down 20 points at halftime. And that's a lot of points to be able to come back from. And also, when I looked at the Falcons were, they tried to come back, but the Cardinals, the Dolphins, their deficits were pretty much 20 points. And we haven't seen that in a long time. But the Jets rallied from 13-point deficit in the final 2 minutes. But, great football this past weekend is really what we've been wanting to see. We looked at the moving pieces in the offseason, and now everything is coming into fruition.
Only 6 unbeatens after 2 weeks, which usually there are more. Only 6. They are Buffalo, Miami, Kansas City, the Giants, Philly, and Tampa. Surprises there, Miami, the Giants, the Eagles. I think those are the biggest surprises that would be undefeated. Buffalo, though, your former team, is the most impressive to me because they dominated at the Super Bowl defending champ LA, and they just destroyed, made them look bad, a Tennessee team that some people thought would win their division, and of course they're 0-2. We'll get into that in a minute. But 6 unbeatens. Which surprised you? Which is the one team that you know is going to be really good the rest of the way?
Well, I think the Giants is a surprise. We talked about it before the season. I thought they were the dark horse in the NFC East. I think the Bills are a really good team at 2-0. I think the Chiefs are really good at 2-0. And the Eagles are not a surprise. The Dolphins are not a surprise. I thought both of those football teams would go to the playoffs. I thought the Dolphins would finish behind the Bills, and I thought the Eagles would win their divisions, and the Bucs are also 2-0. Those teams, I think, are definitely good. The Bills, the Chiefs, and the Eagles. I think they're good. The Dolphins, they're competitive. They have a lot of weapons. We'll just have to see how things play out because they have a big game this weekend against the Buffalo Bills.
5 are winless. They are the Titans, which may be a surprise. The Super Bowl runner-up Cincinnati Bengals, Vegas, Atlanta, Carolina. In the modern era, no team that started off 0-2's made the playoffs. You look at Tennessee's division, it's hard to make that statement, but do you go along with that trend that if you're 0-2, you won't make the playoff? Are all these 5 teams doomed?
Well, since the NFL expanded to a 12-team playoffs in 1990, 265 teams have started a season 0-2. Only 30 made the playoffs. In the past 2 seasons, with a 14-game playoff format, 18 teams have started 0-2. None have made the playoffs. This list is not a surprise. You know, we talked a couple of weeks ago before the season started. I told you the Bengals would not make the playoffs. I told you the Raiders would not make the playoffs. The Panthers and Falcons is not a surprise. I told you the Titans would not make the playoffs. As a matter of fact, the East, I had the Bills and the Dolphins. The North, I had the Ravens and the Steelers. The AFC South, I had the Colts. They're 0-1-1. AFC West, I had the Chiefs and the Chargers. And you go to the NFC, I had the Eagles and the Cowboys, the Packers, the Saints and Bucks, Rams and Niners. No one on this list is a surprise to me, and I don't think either of these teams make the playoffs.
So you're saying that trend will continue. No, none of those that started 0-2 will make the playoffs. It's interesting to me, 19 teams through 2 weeks. 19 of the 32 are 1-1. And we do have 2 teams that are 0-1-1. So they played each other and had a tie and then lost the other games that they played. 19 teams, 1-1. That is the kind of parity that Pete Rozelle, really that was his goal, that any team could beat any other team on any given Sunday. That's what you got in this league right now with those kinds of numbers.
Yes, it's great for the fans, Dave. It's great for television. And I think when you look at how the salaries are through the roof. And I think players are literally going to the highest bidder through free agency or through trades. And once these great players, these good players, are able to go to a team, they are the piece that these teams need to be able to get to the playoffs and get to the Super Bowl. And I think that's the parity that we see. And, it's great. We looked at the moving pieces in the offseason. We specifically talked about the AFC West, and you look at those moving pieces. But you look at the Dolphins, they get Tyreek Hill, and they are a much better football team. So these moving pieces, the high salaries, is the reason that we have the parity that we have, and I'm enjoying it.
Me too. All right, we got some games we got to talk about. It starts tonight, which, by the way, you can hear, I believe, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. That's Pittsburgh at Cleveland, and these are amongst the groups that are 1-1. I just don't know how to feel about Pittsburgh. Break this one down for me.
You got Mitchell Trubisky going against Jacoby Brissett, and neither of these teams have any love for one another. You remember a couple of years ago when you had the Mason Rudolph, the Myles Garrett situation. I think it's going to be a black and blue game. I have all the confidence in Mike Tomlin, what he's been able to do for the past 10 years. I think it'll go down to the wire, but give me the Pittsburgh Steelers. But, Dave, if Mitchell Trubisky struggles a little bit, Kenny Pickett is right there to be able to come the first rounder, the homegrown talent from Pittsburgh. But give me the Steelers over the Browns.
You know, I just have no faith in Mitchell Trubisky. I've said this a million times. I thought Pittsburgh was doomed as soon as they named him the starter. I don't understand. We've now seen rookie quarterbacks step in and be really good because college offenses are now so sophisticated. Kenny Pickett sure seems like the real deal to me. I don't get this Trubisky thing. I don't understand why Mike Tomlin's going in this direction.
The Steelers are not 0-2. The Steelers are right where they need to be at 1-1. I think after this game, we'll see how Mitchell Trubisky plays. I think he definitely has to get more yardage, but he has a great defense. They are going to be missing T.J. Watt. But at this point in time here, it's not a reason to pull him and throw Kenny Pickett into the fire. I think you let him learn a little bit, be able to understand some things. He looked great in the preseason, but the preseason is vanilla. Right now, you want him to have confidence because if he goes out and he struggles, you do not want to pull him in week 6 or week 7 because that totally destroys his confidence. There's no question that Kenny Pickett is going to be the face of this franchise, but I think Mike Tomlin made the best decision right now to go with Mitchell Trubisky.
Best game of the week is clearly the two undefeateds, Buffalo dominating everybody at Miami. Tua fresh off of a 6-touchdown performance. This game is going to be terrific. How do you see it?
It's been a long time, Dave, since we've seen the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins both be relevant. And what Tua is being able to do, 469 yards, 6 touchdowns last week, 271 touchdown a couple of weeks ago, it's going to be a great team. You have great defenses on both sides. You have a lot of weapons offensively for both sides. I think it'll be one of those old shootouts. And at the end, I would trust Josh Allen over Tua Tagovailoa. Give me the Buffalo Bills. Tough game for the Bills on the road. I picked them to go to the Super Bowl, but this will be their first big test of this 2022 season.
You don't think that game in L.A. was a test?
Well, when you look at coming back, they lost a lot. The Rams lost receivers. They lost Von Miller. I think for all of us fans, we wanted to really see how the Buffalo Bills would come out. But clearly, the Buffalo Bills, in my opinion, was the favorite. We talked about it. I don't think that's a test. I think this test here is the division game. The Miami Dolphins are a totally different football team. McDaniels has them playing. They have weapons. They can score. They can spread you out. It kind of reminds me of the Kansas City Chiefs going against the Bills last year as far as the talent offensively. And let's see if the Bills now can be able to control all these weapons the Dolphins have and be able to get to Tua Tagovailoa.
The Bills are the favorite by 6. I'm with you all the way. I think they win that game. I go the opposite way, by the way, with the Cleveland-Pittsburgh game. I think Cleveland's going to edge them out. It's the Trubisky factor for me. And then another one that is a really terrific game on Sunday, and that is Green Bay at Tampa with the Buccaneers, the 1-point favorite. In my mind, wrong team favored here.
I agree with you, Dave. We don't agree a whole lot of times, but I definitely agree with you. When you look at Tampa Bay, the reason why I don't think they're going to win, they're missing all of their receivers. Mike Evans is suspended. Julio Jones is not playing. Chris Godwin, you don't know if he's going to play or not. Don't have enough weapons to go against Green Bay. Green Bay's defense is playing very good. I think offensively the Bucs are struggling. We saw them last week against the Saints. They struggled a lot, but they were able to come back and win that football game. Give me the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers, they start off slowly, but once they hit their stride, I think this is a football game that they'll hit their stride. Give me the Packers.
The one thing is Tampa's defense. Can they slow down Rodgers, who looked brilliant, as always, against the Bears? Final game Monday night. Dallas Cowboys and Cooper Rush with that one win against the big surprise, the New York Giants at home. The Giants are 1-point favorites in the game. Their coach has asked, like it's a college game, he's sent out word to all their fans, wear white to make it a whiteout.
Hey, I love what Brian Daboll has brought back to New York. The attitude that he's brought back, he's changing the culture. He's from New York. He understands what the fans want. He can be able to reach that fan base. And right now he has them confident. They're 2-0. This is a great old NFC East matchup. When I look at The Cowboys, I'm not sure they have enough weapons. I love what Cooper Rush was able to do. I thought that he would be solid. They don't have enough weapons either. They're going to have to rely on their defense. Their defense is going to have to win the game. I think it'll be a low-scoring game. Give me the Giants at home.
That is Russell Copeland on the National Football League. Thank you, my friend. We appreciate it. Talk to you next week.
Thank you.
That's Russell Copeland. He's brought to you in part by the folks at BetUS.com. This is the site you got to go. If you're looking for a new favorite sports book, I'm recommending BetUS.com for a couple of reasons. One, 28 years of experience, like with the NFL. The second, it's integrity. It's a place that you know and have faith that when you win, you'll get paid. Isn't that the most important thing? And you get the best sign-up of any of these places, a bonus up to 200%. And it's not just NFL. You've got Major League Baseball. You've got the NBA coming up. You've got European slots with dealers waiting for you at the table. You've got MMA. You've got golf. We got the President's Cup. I don't know if you can make a bet on that, but I bet you can. BetUS.com. It's really simple. You go there, or you can call 1-800-79-BET-US. 1-800-79-BET-US. You got to use this code. It's a promo code, Sports56Radio. Sports56Radio. BetUS, where the game begins. And this portion of the show is brought to you by Ken Garland. Ken Garland, Custom Home Builders. If you are ready for that dream home, if you're ready for that renovation with innovation because you love your lot, but you want the modern amenities, you want the media room with the speakers in the walls and the big screen TV that pulls down, you want the theater seating, or you want the granite cabinets and tops, you want everything, the island in the kitchen, the California closet, you want those things. Ken Garland, he knows exactly how to put those into your older home to make it a modern palace. If you're looking for land, he's got it. If you're not sure how to utilize the land that you have, maybe passed on from generation to generation, you're ready for that dream home, he knows how to utilize it. Go look and see. KenGarland.com. And then I urge you to make the call. Simple number, 901-751-1632. He's fun to talk to. Ken Garland, Custom Home Builders. We had to Baton Rouge, our SEC historian, on last week and on the games this week like Florida and Tennessee. Ron Higgins comes your way in just a minute.
Let former Memphis Tiger Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy take you home every afternoon with Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekdays from 3 to 6 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at TriumphAutoSales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep the facility running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, and Maria in Miami, Jules in Minneapolis, and Stan in Central Indiana, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with experienced branch staff at over 250 locations so you get the product you're looking for. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Gossett Mitsubishi Summer Sales Event is still going strong at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Get ready to embrace adventure like never before in 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, $339 a month or $26,390. Get dramatic performance off-road, on-road, and everyday driving in 2023 Eclipse Cross, $409 a month or $31,085. And breakout and standout in 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander with 7 seating capacity. We Gossett at $419 a month or $31,605. Plus, peace of mind with our stellar 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 75 months at 4.44 APR, 500 military rebate, 4,900 down. Sport NU 017062, MSRP 27,140. Cross PC 000695, MSRP 31,585. Outlander NZO 84348, MSRP 32,105. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/122 with approved credit dealer stock only.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Lonely feeling deep inside. Find a corner.
To Baton Rouge we go. Our SEC historian, our friend Ron Higgins joins us now. What's the first thing you think about when I say Tennessee and Florida?
I think there's so many things come to my mind. I mean, Tennessee finally beating Florida on a long field goal. I think it was Will Hoyt hit it. Going in there with Peyton Manning and playing a really good first half, but Florida scoring in the first half, and they scored like 40-something points straight. Spurrier throwing a touchdown pass at Knoxville right before the half to make it 21 or 28-0. I just all those things come to mind. Yeah. Tennessee going to Florida in December, I think it was 2001. Yeah, 2001. And then they destroyed them, and then they got to the SEC championship game, and that they win that game during the Rose Bowl, but LSU beats them with a backup quarterback. So I think about all those things. Yeah, exactly.
The first thing I think of is the banter that Spurrier used to lay on Philip Fulmer. Just ripping him all the time and ripping UT. You can't spell citrus without UT, those kinds of things. And my producer, J. Morgan Harder, J-Mo, told me he thinks Steve Spurrier is going to be the guest picker for game day, which is going to take place in Knoxville.
That'll be interesting, yeah, because, he's from Johnson City.
Right.
Of course, he played baseball in high school. In fact, I think he beat Christian Brothers or MUS for the state title.
Christian Brothers. He was here for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl.
Yeah. That'll be interesting. That'll be definitely interesting. My favorite Steve Spurrier thing was he told, even when he was, Florida was like in the Citrus Bowl, he thanked the University of Tennessee for letting the University of Tennessee use their winter home. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you also let us use their winter home. That was it. Yeah.
He's always been funny. He'll be a great guest picker. He's probably got to pick Florida because that's the team that he coached to all those victories, all those years over Tennessee. I don't think that's going to happen this time. That game clearly says to me in Knoxville, full house, that the dominance Florida has had over the Vols the last few years is coming to an end. Josh Heupel's got this thing really going, I think, on the hill in Knoxville.
I think there's such a discrepancy in the quarterback play. It's just I just can't imagine that Florida could win this game. I mean, Hendon Hooker's thrown a million TDs and very few interceptions in the past couple of years, and Florida's got a quarterback this year who's all he does is throw picks.
He had a good first game against Utah. Everybody thought he was a Heisman Trophy candidate.
Yeah, he's thrown no touchdowns and 4 picks this year, and then you go Hooker has thrown 6 touchdowns and no picks, and then you go back in the past couple of years and he's just been phenomenal. So I just can't see how Florida wins this game. If it'll be stunning. I don't see it. I look back and forth over both teams, and when it comes down to there's such a discrepancy in quarterback, it's just ridiculous.
A&M had a fine showing against Miami to sort of maybe take the bitter taste out of their mouths from the Appalachian State debacle. They're actually the favorite at home this week against an Arkansas team that, kind of had some problems of their own with their former coach, Bobby Petrino, coming back to Fayetteville. And then Arkansas won that game. A&M's a 2-point favorite in this thing. I think the wrong team's favored here.
I think so, too. A&M just switched quarterbacks last week to Max Johnson, who was LSU starter the past couple of years, and
that's Brad Johnson's son, right? How you've seen him up close? How good a quarterback is he?
He's very cerebral. He doesn't make mistakes. He'll make plays, but I don't know if they can make enough plays to beat Arkansas. I look at Arkansas's offense and all the weapons they have and how they use them, and I look at A&M, and A&M just seems to be a slow motion offensively. I just haven't seen it with A&M that they can explode for points, and a bunch of them, and Arkansas can. I think the wrong team's favored here. I agree with you, and I know they're playing in Dallas. I get that, but man, I look at this. I look at both offenses, and both defenses. A&M's like fifth in the league. Arkansas is toward the back, and they give up a lot of points. That might be a difference, but when you look at honestly at offenses, A&M's averaging like last in the league in scoring offense. Their offense is just bad. It's just not a very good offense. They're last in total offense. My God, Arkansas averages almost 180 yards more offense than they do. It's just there's such a discrepancy offensively. I don't know how. I can't believe they're favorite. I don't know what they see in this. Because again, A&M comes out the gate and they're really, really average.
Right, and honestly, the Dallas market, being in Jerry's world, is really helpful for our. I think it's a neutral stadium, is what I'm saying. I think there'll definitely be as many Hog fans as there will be A&M fans.
Oh, I agree. You're in Jerry world. That's Mr. Razorback. So yeah, it kind of evens out. It really does. So. I like Arkansas on that one. Again, based on the fact that I just think they can do more things offensively than A&M can.
One other game of intrigue, because if Brian Harsin was to lose another home game, and this one a conference game to Missouri, a team that is not playing well, Auburn's a 7-point favorite in this game. Certainly, they have not looked very good. They looked like a team against Penn State last week that might be quitting on their coach. What do you think happens in this game with Missouri?
I think they've got to cover against Missouri. I know Missouri's, they are not very good. Also, Auburn toward the bottom of the league in a lot of different stats. It's a puzzle. I agree with you. It looks like they're kind of quitting on the guy and they're trying to get him fired. It really looks that bad. This guy has no protection now that they need to hire him. The AD get quit or resigned or whatever. So when that happens, what's interesting is that, Arizona State's supposedly interested in
Harsin?
Brian Harsin. And all the Auburn people are like, well, great.
If I were Harsin, I would take that in a heartbeat. I would get a new 5-year clock running for sure. Last thing, Georgia, clearly, with the teams they have beaten and how they have beaten them, is the best team in the country, certainly at this moment. John Thompson, I know a guy that you know very well who's with us every Monday, made the comment Monday morning, Georgia is the new Alabama. Do you buy that?
I would, at this point, watching this year, yeah, I'd say so. They're dominant on both sides of the ball. They're deep. They don't make very many mistakes. They just steamroll you like Alabama, used to do. And this Alabama team this year, looking at right now, is not very capable. I mean, I know their defense has been pretty solid. I mean, they've only given up 2 touchdowns this year, but Georgia's only given up 1. So, yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with what John said. Absolutely.
Kirby Smart starting to really continue, but now with the big prize, the cherry on top from last year, and possible back-to-back. I agree. I think they are the new, we had Clemson, we had Alabama, and I think Georgia now might be that class of the entire country. Ron, as always, we appreciate it so much, and we'll do it again next week.
All right, well, take care. We'll
Thank
see
you. We appreciate you. That's our SEC historian. That is Ron Higgins down in Baton Rouge. He's brought you in part by the Matt Eflin Insurance Team, and I mean a team. What they do is they do insurance by collaboration. They get to know you. They know your family, so they can protect you the right way. They get to know your kids. They get to know what's important to you, because that's important for life insurance or your home program, even an auto program if you've got teenagers who are driving. They will help you out in so many ways. They do it the collaborative way. They do the same thing with commercial insurance. If you've got a small to mid-sized business, that is their specialty. So they'll figure out what your assets are. They'll forecast out with you what's important, what really needs protection, what your budget is, and then they find the right protection. They do it in business, they do it in your home, and for your life insurance. It's simple. Call Matt or Grant or Andrew at Heath at 901-386-4776. That spells GUR because they love the Tigers. It's the Eflin Insurance Team protecting you the collaborative way. That'll do it for us. We'll do this thing again tomorrow morning. Johnny Radio is next. Have a great day, everyone.
I often say they've set the bar